Hello everybody, my name is the narrator, and before this episode starts, Maddie will be talking about Pokemon. Not just any Pokemon. She's going to be talking about the very first Pokemon, Bulbasaur. She's going to be teaching you some of the history behind it, and some of its weaknesses and strengths. Just general things you might want to know about Bulbasaur. Without further ado, the show begin. Good morning everybody, my name is Maddie, and today we're going to be talking about Bulbasaur. Now, this Pokemon has two more evolutions after it. There's the Ivysaur, which the Pokemon's a little bit bluer, and the flower on its back is starting to bloom, but it isn't quite there yet. And then we have the Venusaur, which comes after Ivysaur, which it's a lot different in size. It's much more bigger, kind of like a bullfrog, and the flower on its back is completely bloomed out. Now there's also the Mega Evolved Venusaur, which there isn't much difference with it. There might be like a few designs that's different with it, maybe like the patterns on the Pokemon and like extra vines on the flower, but that's about it. Bulbasaur has the ability to Overgrown, Torrent, Blaze, and Swarm. But this Pokemon is weak to others that are Fire, Psychic, Flying, and Ice types. It is hard to figure out what type of frog Bulbasaur is, but we do know that it's generally just frogs in general, you know. But the plant, on the other hand, is a lot easier to figure out. This plant on the back is actually Freesia alanoia. Now, this Pokemon doesn't really get involved with the storyline of Pokemon that much. But there is one story that I think is kind of interesting with the Bulbasaur. In one storyline, there's this main character called Red, and he received a Bulbasaur after helping Professor Oak find and bring back all the Pokemon that was in his possessions after escaping. Bulbasaur is a grass and poison type, and his species is Seeds. Now, this Pokemon is, in fact, the very first Pokemon, so the number is 001. So, now let's look at some of Bulbasaur's... Good morning, everybody. My name is... George, what are you doing here? I'm trying to make a video. I was going to help the people at home understand what frog and plant Bulbasaur was. Well, I think the reason why people clicked on this video is to watch the information of the Pokemon, not the animal that it's inspired by. Wait a minute. How are you even here? Well, when a mom and dad love each other very much... No! I mean, how are you here in the same area as I am? Same spot? Location, that type of thing. Well, I don't know. You'll have to ask Dr. von Schneemann, but can I just please finish what I started? Fine. Just hurry up. This video cannot get past 15 minutes. Okay. So, we don't really know what type of frog the Bulbasaur is, but we do know generally what frogs look like. They have these big beady eyes that come out of the sides of their head. They're really smooth because they're amphibians after all. Normally when they're sitting very still or not doing anything, their back feet are coiled, ready to leap out in case of danger or they find some food to eat. Now the size is a little off, but the coloring, there's a pattern to it. You'll see the frogs that are like green or brown, maybe even a hint of black, they live in forests, swamps, while the ones that are very tiny and bright colors, you know, like the blue and black, red and black, maybe even yellow to orange and black, well, they live in jungles, where every now and again there's a splash of vibrant color. And even though that they might not live right next to where a flower might be very beautiful and blooming right now, it also means that they are very poisonous, and any who shall dare eat it will face a very bad consequence. Now, when frogs get their food, they may go to an area where there might be teeming with their favorite food. They wait very patiently, and whenever they spot a bug of some sort, small prey, close enough, they'll get ready, they'll stick their tongue out, grab it and suck it back in. Their tongue is very sticky. Okay, I have quite a list here of many types of foods these frogs like to eat. Since frogs live pretty much anywhere, depending on what type of frog they are, it means that the general frog idea has a large amount of food, depending on where they live, what their size is. So here I have a little list. Alrighty. They like to eat flies, small frogs, mosquitoes, baby turtles, moths, mice, dragonflies, snakes, grasshoppers, and worms. But there's other stuff. But depending on the size is what they eat. So maybe like a little tiny jungle frog can't exactly eat a baby turtle, but they will eat smaller stuff like flies and moths and mosquitoes. And like the big pond frogs, they are more likely to eat the bigger stuff like mice and smaller frogs and baby turtles, unfortunately. Now, these frogs also have a large list of predators. So, they eat snakes, 6-spotted fishing spiders, very specific, birds, skunks, fish, blue jays, hornets, otters, beetles, minks, and maybe even other types of frogs, maybe a little bit bigger too. Now, this is quite unusual for scientific names, but this one is quite simple. See, it's what was it again? What was it? An Ura. Ah, yes, it was an Ura. Thank you. Now, over the course of researching about these frogs, I have found something very interesting. The wood tree frog, very specifically, in the winter, his breathing and his heartbeat will actually completely stop. So they basically die. And like the frost and the snow go over them. and they're actually hibernating, you know. And there's something about spring and thawing. No. Yes, thank you. In spring, they will start to defrost and wake up slowly and get back to what they were normally best at doing, whether it's swimming or catching some food or staying alive. Okay, now we can look at some... Wait, but I haven't done the plant yet. Well, I bet you that the people actually know what this plant is. But they probably don't know much about it. Well, I'm sure all they need to know is that it smells like death and it grows in a jungle. But I'm almost done. Can I please just finish it? Fine. The corpse lily, that's what it's called, actually grows all over Southeast Asia. Now, if you look at this plant, you can see that it is very large in size. That is the first thing right off the bat. But you can also see the petals. They're kind of rough looking, almost like leather, with white bumps on it as texture. And then if you go to the center, there's like an incave, a little hole. There's a bunch of spikes inside. The seeds. Well, they basically look like a nut. Just a normal little nut. And it's mostly round. And you can actually see like little indentations of the petals that will be forming over time whenever it starts to sprout. Hang on, what was it? Rafflesia. Yes. The Rafflesia, that's what it's called. Smells like rotting meat or flesh, so that it can attract large amounts of flies, where it can eventually eat, digest. Kind of like a Venus flytrap, except the petals don't close on them. Something that I found very strange and unique about this plant is that it has neither leaves or roots. Which, if you think about it, that doesn't exactly make any sense. Because those are like the main two things that keep plants alive. Now, if you look at this plant, it's huge, it's beautiful. And it would last for about a year, or maybe even a couple months. Just like many people, you are terribly wrong. It lasts 5 to 7 days before it dies. Which, I guess that kind of makes sense for the whole no leaf or roots thing. A man that goes by the name of, oh, come on. I had it. It was right there. Hang on, give me a minute. Jonah Arnold. Joseph Aron. He was the very first person to discover this carnivorous plant beast. So, unfortunately, this video has come to an end. Hopefully, you've learned a little bit more about this Pokemon. And if you're fascinated and you want to learn a little bit more, there are websites in the description that goes more into detail of where I found this information. Without further ado, please like and subscribe, and good night, and good night. This is the end of the video, end of the video, end of the video. End of the video, end of the video. This is the end of the video. End of the video, end of the video, end of the video. Oh.